Hi guys, welcome to a new episode of In Other Words with Danielle and Zara.
So this is a podcast where we talk about a wide variety of different subjects, from random fun facts to dealing with grief and heartache. So in other words, we talk about all the things.
So we've had a very exciting day today because we voted today. I think you'll only be hearing this a week from now.
Yes.
But we voted and it was all very exciting. Zara almost died of hypothermia, but she still voted.
But I voted and I'm alive. Don't worry, guys.
That's all good in the hood.
Yes.
So today we are doing a very exciting episode.
Yes.
We're doing, how do I even word this? A guy asks girls questions that guys have been scared to ask, essentially.
Yes.
So what we have done is we asked guys to send in questions on SurveyMonkey completely anonymously.
Sponsor us.
Yes, please. We use you so much. So we thought it would be fitting that Devan, who is the self-proclaimed male representative of our podcast, to ask...
I am the only male.
Whatever. To ask us the questions.
Yes.
So if you don't know who Devan is, he is my boyfriend and also the producer / editor of the whole podcast.
Yes.
Cool.
We mainly asked him just because he was the only one we could ask, really.
It's like who else?
Just nearby.
It's convenient.
I was gonna be here
Exactly.
anyways.
Yeah, might as well.
So we've taken a look at all the questions sent in, and we have a nice little list. So hopefully we can start off with the first one.
Hopefully.
Yes.
The first one I actually thought was very interesting because it's a very typical sort of question that I think. Why do girls?
Yes.
Always-
Why do guys?
Why
That
do
is
the real question.
Why?
Why is the typical thing that we always see that girls want a nice guy, but they often end up going for those bad guys, the cool guys, the ones that are like
You can
sometimes
be nice
aren't the
and cool.
best, and then they get upset or hurt, and then they end up going to the nice guy. Why do they bother the first time?
Okay.
What's up with that?
I have two theories. Firstly, that is just the trope that is
It's a very
evident in the media. So you look at a lot of movies or television shows or series on Netflix, whatever,
Yes.
and you will see the whole thing of, the girl, this bad guy, right? Like he's very rebellious and he does so many bad things, but then this girl sees the potential in him, this very nice kind of girl,
Yes.
and she fixes him, and it's so exciting,
Yes.
and he's very adventurous kind of vibes.
Yes.
And so that's just
And that
the
doesn't
kind of
happen
thing
in
that
real life.
that we watch since we're young.
Yeah.
Okay, and the second theory that I have is that often so-called nice guys are only self-proclaimed nice guys. Like they're not actually necessarily nice.
Yeah.
And the only reason that they are nice oftentimes is to get with a girl.
Yeah.
So like
I
they'll,
agree with that.
yeah, so like guys will be like, oh, I was so nice to her, like I was her friend, why doesn't she want to date me? And it's like, because you lack substance. You only you only focus on being nice, but you don't actually like show your personality.
Yeah.
I agree.
You literally
100%.
are just trying to get something out of that relationship, which is obviously not good. Girls know when you're acting like that. We're not stupid. So I think that is just something to consider. If you're a nice guy, then you must actually be a nice guy. And if you're being rejected by so many girls and you think you're nice, maybe you should like relook at that. I'm not saying that this person necessarily who sends it in is not actually a nice guy. But what I am saying is that oftentimes nice guys are not as nice as they think they are.
I definitely agree with that.
I also think, and this is just from just what I've seen, just from the girl's perspective, is the thing with a quote unquote bad boy is that there's something very, very exciting about it. And the reality is, like, if you are a player, you know how to play the game.
Yeah.
And
you know how to flirt, banter, all that kind of stuff.
And like that is what immediately that's that first connection. That's that's what keeps you interested in a sense.
I agree.
So I think if you have liked a girl who's gone for the wrong guys, I'm sorry, and you will meet a nice girl.
Yes.
But I also think it's very dangerous to box people.
Yeah, absolutely.
I agree.
You should never box people.
No, that's
That sounds like it
violence.
hurt.
So I think it's dangerous to like put people in boxes of nice guy and like a bad boy, especially because I think that guys who are confident and maybe just naturally flirtatious are often seen as bad boys, and then
That's not
like
necessarily the case.
quiet guys are nice guys, and
I think
that's
that's just
also
part of
not
the
the
trope,
case.
though. Yes.
So, but yeah, women do it because sometimes we like the chase, just like guys like the chase sometimes.
Yeah.
And
Makes
also,
sense.
I don't know, I was just thinking now, like just from the guy's perspective, like on the other hand, there is also this kind of trope where, so like the girl, so I'm just thinking specifically of Big Bang Theory now. So who does Penny end up with again? Which one? What's the name? Leonard. So that
The
kind
nerdy one. Well, they're all nerds.
Yeah, they're all nerds. But the point is that like she didn't like him the whole time, right? He always liked her.
Yeah.
And she was going like for like so-called bad guys or whatever, but eventually she went to the good guy. And this, like she made the right decision. And I think that kind of trope is very evident for guys, and guys are like, oh, it's fine, like she'll come to me eventually, like I must just be nice. And
It's
like
a dangerous mindset to put yourself in.
Yeah, and like that's not necessarily always the case. And also like, I don't know, like you still need to be working on yourself, 100%. If you know what I'm saying. Like you can't just expect to be nice and then she'll come to you. And oftentimes, unfortunately, like a lot of the times girls don't like those kinds of guys.
Yeah.
Which is unfortunate because like you can be super nice and like be nerdy or whatever. But
I do think the idea of being a nice guy doesn't create this universal law that a girl has to like you now.
Yeah.
Which I think sometimes is what nice guys fall into. They fall into that way of thinking.
Like she must like me.
She must
and
like
if
me
you're
because I'm
a nice
guy.
girl, find a nice. If you're a nice guy, find a nice girl.
Exactly. And work on yourself. Do it.
Yes.
I also think that like if, as you touched on this earlier, if all you are is a nice guy, then you're just a type. You're just a you're not an individual, a person with their own personality. You're just wanting this one thing.
Yeah, like I said, no substance.
I think that leads on to the next question I wanted to follow up on. Is like you talked about a girl can like obviously see a guy's intentions. Is that always a thing? How quickly do you girls pick up on that, and how does that make you feel? I guess.
Okay. Well, I don't think girls can always tell a guy's intentions.
No,
but
which
the
is
point
why
is,
I'm like super blunt and like I don't like to play games.
Yeah,
Fair
so
enough.
like I know one of the questions we got was like, why don't girls always ask the guy?
Yeah, like why do girls feel like the guy has to make
I was
the first
getting to that one.
move?
I just wanted to touch on this. Quick.
Okay.
Oh, sorry.
So I think girls often like women have a very good intuition. I don't know what it is. Like I don't know if guys get the same thing, but like there is just something about a woman's intuition that is oftentimes right.
Gut feeling.
Yeah, women get like a very strong gut feeling.
Okay.
Like I know a lot of other women can attest to this.
Yeah.
But obviously like so many women have been played before, and like obviously guys have been played before as well. But like sometimes guys, and it's the same thing, you know, like the nice guy or whatever, like the guys can play to what they think a woman wants, and then like it can be easy to be fooled, but oftentimes a girl knows like, oh, he's literally just doing this because he wants to get with me.
Yes. Also known as Dawson from Dawson's Creek.
Silly Dawson.
Just wanted to just touch on that because I think it does cue up quite nicely into the next question, which is going to be, you know, if a guy and a girl like each other, why is it that sometimes that the girl is not willing to make that first move? Obviously, guys are kind of like the narrative that they must make the first move. Do you think girls should? Do you think sometimes it's just 50-50? What's your sort of opinion on that side?
Well, I think the reason that girls often don't make the first move is just because of like patriarchal norms. Because the norm is that the guy must be the pursuer, you know?
Yeah.
He must
on
be
the chase.
on the hunt, you know? So, and like I was just thinking, we are kind of brought up in this world, like girls, you know, you don't want to emasculate a man. Like we kind of brought up with that. And like I was thinking, there's an episode in Friends, and I'm not going to put a spoiler alert or whatever because it's very old and that's your own fault. But there's an episode where Phoebe proposes to Mike at a sports game, and then like all the guys around him were like, oh my word, like she is like emasculating him kind of thing, and like, oh, he's clearly not manly because she's proposing to him. And that kind of narrative is just very prevalent. Jo, what do you think?
I think that girls are just genuinely more emotional at times.
In touch with their emotions.
In touch with their emotions. And I also think there's a narrative in society that when a woman is interested, or whatever the case may be, like if she puts that forward, it appears desperate.
So true.
And like I think with the right guy, he wouldn't see it that way. But
a lot
think
of guys do.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think with like I'll just even look at myself, and I think it's very scary to put yourself out there if you've been hurt before.
Yeah.
So I think that's probably a huge reason. I think what's difficult is that my advice, and I can tell you I've not followed this advice, but it's just like, if you feel something, just say it. Because there could be a chance that both of you are just really scared.
Yeah, I think open communication is always a good thing.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So you're saying that people must shoot their shot? Would you recommend that guys go shoot their shot?
Please.
Yeah, if you like someone,
I'm
like life is too short
I agree.
to play games and to like guess what another person is feeling.
Yeah. All right. So the next question that I wanted to ask you guys,
just so you know, the questions that Devan are reading have come from anonymous listeners.
Yes, on surveys. Please answer the surveys.
Yes.
Please.
So with an increasing feminist society, right, lots of women have either lost the desire for a partner or feel that they are better off without one entirely. What benefits are there for women who still want a relationship? And how can men appeal to this more?
Wow, that's a very well thought out question.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
I feel like I don't really agree that most women don't want a partner.
I think it's maybe just
there's
a
no idea that you
perception.
don't need it anymore.
Yes.
But like most girls I know still very much want partners.
Yes.
Yeah.
I will say, like, I think the reason why it might appear that women are like not interested in being with a man is just for centuries women were defined by men.
Yeah.
So
for ages.
I mean, you look back to centuries ago and like
not even centuries, decades.
Yeah.
No. I'm starting at the beginning where women women couldn't divorce men. It had to be it had to be from the man's side.
Yeah.
And like now we look at like decades ago and like a man would marry a woman and then only would she be financially stable. Like there was no way for her. She would move from her father's house to her husband's house kind of thing.
Yeah.
And so I think we're in an age where women feel the need to assert themselves
and their
independence. Yeah. And I think that can often come across as
she don't want no man.
Yes, but I like to think of myself as fairly independent, but I definitely would like to be with someone at some point.
Yeah.
I do think it's that, sorry to cut you off there. Do you think it's that whole idea of like a woman isn't complete without a man? And that's been the narrative for so long. Now it's got to a point where women can just decide. And I don't think it's a thing of, I think when you say like an increasing feminist society, it's because it's now become normal for women to just be like, no. And I don't think that's a society thing. I think just that women should have the choice if they want a relationship or not. That shouldn't be or something's wrong with them sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think, just echoing what Zara said, like women don't need men anymore like they used to need men.
Yes, because like it was a
survival.
Physical need.
Yeah,
like,
you actually you had to marry.
You couldn't survive really.
Yeah, you had to get married so that you had, first of all, like any kind of status. If you weren't, then you were just like, oh, it's a shame, this poor little spinster.
Yes.
You needed a husband to make money. You couldn't like vote. Yes. For example, like
you couldn't vote, so if you didn't have a husband who could
carry
your political opinions forward, you had nothing.
I think the way that men can kind of, I don't know, appeal to women now, don't act like you know that you're not going to be her provider. You're not going to be someone who like, she doesn't need you to look after her.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe she does. Maybe she wants that kind of lifestyle. But
which
a lot
is
of
perfectly
women,
fine, by the way.
Perfectly fine, no shame. But a lot of women don't need that anymore. So rather think of it more as like, how can I be the best partner?
Yeah.
I was literally going to say that. I was like, how best to appeal to a woman is just saying like, I understand who you are as a person. Yes. And so we partner together.
Exactly.
And it's
need
like,
to complement each other.
Yes. And it's like, I always think because I think because of biblical history and the context of women at the time, I always go back to the beginning where God made Adam and then he said that man should not be alone and then I'm going to give him a helper. And that word for helper is the same word that God uses to refer to the Holy Spirit, which is himself. In other words, it's not just some subservient like addition.
Someone
it's
that's joined
like,
with you in life.
Yeah, it's someone who is equal. And I think as a man, like, yes, 100%, like buy the ring and do all the things, but just be okay if a woman wants to assert some sort of independence and support her in that,
and be her own person. Like
yes, allow her to be her own person and you be your own person.
I think another thing to add on to that is also be for yourself. To attract the type of woman that you want, you need to make sure that you being what your partner is looking for.
Yes.
Yeah. So in a sense that like you must make sure that not only that you're making the woman be able to be her own individual as it should be, but also that you're attracting that type of woman that you want.
Yes.
And work on yourself and make sure everything in your ballpark that you can control is sorted, because you can't control what other people think of you. Make sure that what you're exuding out is the right thing.
Yeah. We're not looking for a prince to come rescue us anymore. We just want
don't
someone,
act like it.
We want someone to be our friend and to be our partner, and
that can make you laugh.
And like we both support each other in like different ways.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I agree.
How long should you wait to message after hooking up?
Oh, we're the best people to ask that. I've had so many hookups.
I feel like this is a Zara question.
I mean, every single person I've quote unquote hooked up with, I was like friends with before, so we spoke like.
Yeah.
Well,
and it sounds like you've hooked up with a lot of people.
The next day, no,
it's not a lot of people. It's like two.
That can't.
Depends. If it's a
but
random,
it's also like a kiss.
If it's a random hookup, then maybe a few days. But if it's a friend, then maybe you should talk about that quite quickly, just to make sure you get
honestly,
it sorted out.
like I'm very anti hookup culture.
Same.
Like I really am.
I don't get it.
No, like I get it.
I don't.
I get it, but I don't think it's like healthy for you.
No.
And so honestly, like, just first of all, make sure that the person that you're gonna quote unquote hook up with is someone that you actually care about.
Yeah.
So like, if you've hooked up and it's some stranger, like, ask yourself in the first place, like,
am I sure?
Is this like wise? But like, let's just say you quote unquote hooked up with someone and now you want to message them, just do it. Like, I am as blunt as they come. I'm like, again, I said early on, like, don't play games.
Where are we? What's happening?
Yeah.
Yes.
I think that's a good thing to do.
I agree. And I think, I mean, I have zero experience in hooking up at all. Because Devan and I have been together for many, many, many years. So I think before you hook up with someone, I would imagine like what I would hypothetically do.
If you ever had to hook up with someone.
Yes, is kind of just discuss beforehand, like, what is this actually? Like, is this just
a
hookup? Yes.
Yes.
Okay, what happens if it just happens though?
Well, then that's what I'm saying. You discuss it immediately.
In my opinion. But like, if this is something that you've decided on together, like, okay, we're going to do this, then you discuss, okay, what kind of thing is this? Is this just for fun, or is this actually to pursue something?
Like a friends with benefits sort of vibe.
Yeah.
Was this just like
which I don't recommend either.
No.
But
everyone does their own thing.
But if you do decide to do that, don't be stupid. You're dealing with other people's emotions.
I like how you're looking at the camera.
I'm talking to the people.
We never look at the camera.
So contact them immediately, because the reality is that whether they feel nothing or they feel like they're in love or they feel like it was just a passing thing,
it's not going to change.
You want to know,
you want to clear that up.
You don't want to sit wondering for days how they feel and how you feel. So
and like, guys or girls can message each other in that way, because you're both involved with it.
Yeah.
So just see how it is, and like, if you really are interested in a person, then like, make it known.
Yes.
And ladies, like, if he doesn't talk to you, he's not interested. If he wanted to, he would.
Yeah, if he wanted to, he would. Okay. What do girls think of the whole gym culture thing?
Okay, so I
just explain what I mean, just so everyone knows, like, on the same page.
Am I assuming correctly when you say gym culture? You got to get buff, got to like go with the boys to the gym.
And also, males have a very, I don't know why, but males are like, I'm going to get ripped and buffed, and then all the girls are going to think I'm super sexy.
Okay.
And I know that, being a little bit old, being like 20, I'm a little bit older now, I'm 22. I know that, like, that's not how that works. Okay. But like, why do guys think that, and how does it feel to go through that whole thing?
So I'm so sorry to break any kind of gym guy's bubble, but girls don't care how buff you are.
No.
Most girls do not.
I'm sure.
No. But there's a difference between like having muscle and having a nice body versus like being like super buff. The buffer you are, the more girls you're not going to get. Like,
I personally...
No, I didn't mean it like that.
No, but I personally am just not attracted to, like, super...
Yeah. It's a lot of time spent in a gym.
Buff. It's a lot. I'm like, I want to spend time with you.
That's the thing, right?
Stop spending time at the gym.
To become so buff and to become so muscular is a lot of dedication. It means, first of all, they're not going to want to go out to a nice restaurant with you because they don't want to eat that food there. They want to mesh out all their food.
I don't think that's everyone, though.
Okay, not everyone, but a lot of so-called gym guys are like that.
Maybe.
and like they want to be spending like however many hours at the gym, and they'd rather do that than spend time with you. Not into that. But also, and just in terms of body, right? Guys think that girls want a lot of muscle, and like I'm just going to be honest and say that I like it if a guy has a nice body. I think it makes a difference.
Yes.
But like he must just look after himself, you know.
I think that's
you can like he's trying to be healthy, he's trying to be like live his best life kind of vibes. But I don't care how muscular you are, and oftentimes, I don't know if you guys realize this, but when you are focusing so much on becoming so muscular, it's for other guys. Other guys care more than girls do.
Yeah,
it's 100%. Very much for the male gaze.
No, but it's like this competition.
I think there was a funny photo that I saw, and it was like expectation versus reality. And the expectation is like getting buff. It's like all these girls will start like running to you and throwing themselves at you. No. And then the reality is you're in the gym and some other guy goes, "You look good, dude."
That's literally it.
You move on.
But like reality is if you are not a nice person and you don't have muscle, having muscles, you're still not a nice person. So.
Exactly.
Fair enough.
I will say work on yourself.
Both times.
I will say for me, like it's a really nice thing to have that self-development. But again, when it becomes your life and the only thing, and the same as like that good guy idea, is that when that becomes all that you are, you're a type, you're no longer a person.
And there's literally like if you are a so-called gym guy, whatever, I don't like you do you. Honestly, like it can be really good for self-discipline for some guys. A lot of guys just really enjoy that. Yes. But don't think that because you're all of a sudden getting a lot of muscle that all of the girls are going to like flock around you.
But I think also like for a guy, if you're really into gym, keep getting into gym because you don't want to be with a girl that's not really into gym. You know, as a guy, you want to make sure that you attract.
I feel like if you're a gym guy, you should probably date a gym girl.
Exactly, that makes a lot of sense.
You don't have to, but it just makes sense to me.
If you don't date a gym girl, then don't expect your new interest to all of a sudden join you every single time at gym.
Why is this a term? A gym girl?
It is a gym girl.
I know, but I'm thinking like gym, like from the office.
Like
all I'm seeing is like
gym girl.
Gym as a girl.
But yeah.
I thought that would be an interesting one to talk about.
Yes.
The next one is sex before marriage. Obviously, we've touched on this on a prior podcast.
Okay, what is the question?
Well, what do you think about sex before marriage?
We've already said what
before marriage.
But I know the actual question was how difficult is it for guys versus girls?
Is that what it actually says?
Yes. Because everyone.
The struggle guys have versus girls. All right.
Okay. I think it's good that Devan's here because he can speak from the guy's perspective.
Yes, but I think it is very different. I
just want to say that it differs from couple to couple and from really guy to girl because everyone has different levels of sex drive.
Yeah.
Everyone has different. I was like, what is the center? I don't know. Yeah, everyone has different levels. And also, yeah, like if you can take like Devan and I as a case study, but that simply means that you can't apply it to every single other case.
No.
Yes.
But I think in our case, it is more difficult for you.
Yeah. Well, I'm also the more affectionate one in the relationship. So
I think that makes a difference.
So obviously, I would be a little bit more inclined to go down that road, but it doesn't make it like. Also, think
it's not like impossible.
So I think for guys to realize is that it's very difficult, but you can control yourself.
Yeah.
Guys are often fed the idea that you're a red-blooded male and you have all these hormones running through your veins and you just got back from going to gym and now you just all those sort of things.
Gym again.
No, I just brought it up because I thought it was funny. But you can control yourself and you can. But I think girls don't understand how difficult it can be to control yourself. And I understand the whole thing of just.
I kind of do though.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes I think it really is a lot. It is quite difficult and. You can't be perfect immediately, so get into the idea of like getting used to being able to control your emotions and control how you feel. Communicate how you feel because if you're being ridiculously annoying and you can't explain why, you know, you're gonna have those sort of issues come up. So be able to understand what's going on there.
So my thing is, I'm always like, how personal do I get on this podcast?
I know.
It's always like, oh.
Just don't bring up any names and then it's fine.
I will bring up no names. It's more about me.
Okay, don't mention your own name.
So for me, I think I've had this perception before, like when I was not younger, but when I was a teenager, where it's like
you're so old now.
You have this perception of guys pressure girls into sleeping with them.
Yeah.
And like I've said many times to young girls, like you need to be firm and no is no and this is consent. But I think it's never taught the other way around. And I think that that makes it seem like, I think a lot of people think it's just more difficult for guys, and I think it can be. And again, as I said earlier on, like, women are a little bit more emotional, so that's not that it's not as important, like the physical, but the emotions can often override the physical. Whereas a guy, if you're not like in touch with your emotions, it's very easy to get caught up in the lust or the whatever. But something I will say is, and girls, like, when you think about this, it'll like all click in your head, but the reality is that time just before your period and just after your period, your hormones are raging and you are genuinely more susceptible to I don't know, more like tempted or more
you're just horny at that time.
No, but if you just think about like what your body's actually doing, because like you have your period, right, and then after that, like your body kind of like building itself back up again, and there also comes a stage where like you're the most fertile, and obviously your body's going to be like, hello, I want a baby, please. And obviously it's going to want something that to make a baby
in your body.
Was that whole you were telling me earlier about the women on a 28-day cycle sort of thing?
It's a 28-day cycle. So like there are times where women are like kind of repulsed by the idea of having, well, not repulsed, but like it's kind of just like, I don't want to be there right now. Thank you very much. And like I saw a thing the other day. It was like there's a stage where like your body becomes like extremely defensive, and like it doesn't want any kind of male interaction, because like it's defensive over itself. But then there's also times where it's keen. So
it's keen.
It's the truth. It's the truth. And like I think it really is like just like sometimes like physical touch just isn't the way, like your main priority. It's not the way you feel loved. So it's a little bit easier. But I think as a guy, like, don't be fooled into thinking that women just don't feel, they're never
don't
turned on
sexual attraction,
because that is fake, and I can confirm that 100%.
It's very fake.
No, but I think it's also, women are also not always as keen as like something like pornography would show.
A lot of women watch pornography though.
But I also feel like
but that's also more catered towards men.
Well, I was coming from a male perspective.
That's the thing. Like,
what I mean.
Like, for example, that's why women want to read more like erotica. They want to read the things.
They want to read the emotional.
And also like, I feel like, I mean, I don't watch porn. I've never watched porn, but like just from the way it's been described to me, it's very much like, you know, a guy just does things and then the woman's like, wow, so good. But then like if you're reading, like even books, like I don't read erotica, but there are like sex scenes in books sometimes that are just written so nicely that it's like, that's nicer than like what porn could ever show.
100%.
But like I don't recommend doing that.
I think going back to the whole, you know, relationship, sex before marriage thing, just as we talked about, open communication, you know, making sure that we understand where both sides are on, and you know, decide as a couple on where you stand with the whole thing. And ultimately the only way you can actually wait for marriage is if both people are actively trying to wait. It's a conscious decision that you need to remind yourself. If it's just one side of the relationship, you're gonna fail. Because no things in a relationship should be one-sided.
Absolutely.
So, and if you're super attracted to someone, you feel that way, and it is what it is. So
thank you, Zara.
You're welcome.
I have a very interesting one that's perplexed me for a while.
Perplexed.
Why do girls go to the bathroom in like hordes?
Hordes?
You make it sound like...
Sometimes it is. I've seen like a group of 5 girls just all go to the bathroom together. Just
because we live in a world where
you can be abducted and raped so quickly.
Yes.
I get that.
It's the
but
reality.
I've also seen people do it in my apartment. Jordan has some of his friends over, and 2 of the girls just disappear together into the bathroom to go.
That's weird though.
I
don't get that.
No, I don't feel...
So like at a club and something like that, I completely get it.
Yeah, that's the difference.
Someone's
okay, so in public, I would like, unless it's at a restaurant or whatever, and the bathroom is literally right there. But if I have to walk to the bathroom, I will always want to take someone else with me, just for safety's sake. But I think
if I get abducted, you're getting abducted too.
There's power in numbers. But I get that. I think often like girls just want to chat, you know? Like maybe that's a stereotype, but it genuinely is. Like we want to chat and have a fun time together. So even if it's just at someone's apartment, like I don't know.
Is that because you don't want to chat about those sort of things in a guy space?
Well, it's different between chatting about things with guys versus chatting about things with girls.
But I don't know if I've ever actively gone to the bathroom to have a conversation with someone.
Just sort of happens
I will say, in my like school ministry, I was like, if I need to pray for someone, I'm just going to go to the grade 8 bathroom because there's bound to be a teenage girl crying.
No, exactly.
So it's like a weird like space like that. But 100% number one, it's safety.
Yeah.
And like if I don't have like another girl going to the bathroom with me, like my cell phone is always with me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's,
I get that.
it like really is like
I don't want
a
to die, thank
genuine
you.
fear. Like a genuine fear. Like I hate going to the bathroom by myself.
I definitely think, especially in a public context, it makes a lot of sense, and it's a sad reality, but it's a good precaution to have.
Yeah.
So
That's
there's
fine.
no
So much
like
fun being a woman.
philosophical reason.
No, it's either for the vibes or for the safety. So
Or both.
or both.
And if the girls are going to the bathroom together, maybe the ones doing the other one's makeup. I wouldn't know. I don't.
Exactly.
I've never
What do you think
done
about
that.
guys wearing makeup?
I
think-
it depends on what kind of makeup, but
Yeah.
guys
I've
look
had makeup on
guys
before,
look like
but it was all
ridiculously
stage
nice
makeup.
in eyeliner. Like, why do they look so nice in it?
That's so like
Dry
emo.
cut eyeliner.
Maybe no, not not
2004.
emo. No, just like a nice eyeliner. And I think that is the impact of Pirates of the Caribbean on me. Yeah.
I have a thing. This is just a personal thing where I'm like, a guy can wear nail polish, and I'm like,
I like nail polish.
I can do that.
I wanted to do nail polish for a while.
Well,
and
then do
haven't
it.
bothered
I can
getting
do
I've
it.
literally told him, I was like, just do it. And then he
Yeah.
doesn't want to buy his own, and I'm like, I'm not buying it for you. If you wanted,
No.
you
That's the
wanted
thing.
it.
If I really was that keen on doing it, I would have done it. You know how
Yes.
I am.
Yeah.
But I like the idea of
If
having
he
nail
wanted
polish.
to, he would, ladies. That's
Yes.
the thing.
I
Yeah.
feel the same about like male makeup and female makeup. I
Yeah.
think it's just more common for women.
Yeah.
If you can do it well, then you do you.
You don't even wear that much
But if you
makeup.
take long to get done because you're putting on makeup as
Yeah.
a guy, then I have no sympathy.
But I met,
Yeah, no sympathy.
I know girls that like just love doing makeup. They don't even care.
I know.
They just enjoy the whole procedure,
It's
and
very
the
artistic.
process, and I think they get a lot of enjoyment out of it. And I think that's really cool.
Literally
Yeah.
And
makes
then
me-
Danielle is like, no.
I will.
I
I just
do
don't like the
my
feel of it on
makeup,
my face.
That, and I
Yeah.
also will look like a clown.
Yeah.
I can't even paint my own nails.
I can't.
Really?
I can't.
I can't either.
I could only plait my hair for the first time like 5 years ago.
That's shocking.
I know.
I can plait my hair. I can do like basic eyeshadow. I've never tried eyeliner because I don't know, I'm scared of it for some reason. But I could do mascara.
Yes.
But if a guy, I don't care if a guy wears makeup or not.
I have another question.
Okay.
Do
go.
I think that guys should learn to plait girls' hair, please?
Yes.
Okay, I'll keep
Like
that
that
in
would be
mind.
such a benefit.
Okay.
Like I'm
Sidetrack.
already attracted.
There's this girl I've seen on TikTok, and her boyfriend, I think, is a barber or something like that, and he shaves her legs for her. Like goals.
Wow.
Yeah.
I was gonna say now, like obviously women have a more conventional means of using makeup because it's obviously mainly for them at this point. What do guys have that is their version of like? I've heard that like a haircut is a guy's version of a makeup, like having makeup done.
I would
thing-
actually say the opposite of that.
I would say.
I think as well, but I think
Yeah.
like a guy having like a fresh cut or something like that is
No,
quite nice.
facial hair and long hair, facial hair,
Yeah.
and like especially like wanting to grow your hair out because it's a fad. But the guy version of makeup is sneakers. Done.
Sneakers.
Oh
Yes.
yeah, okay.
The amount of men I've met who have like the biggest
Sneaker culture is huge.
Oh, yeah.
collection.
For
Jordan.
It's
real.
like
That's
we
actually
spend
true.
how much money on like, well, I don't, but like Mac and Estee Lauder, it's so
Yeah.
expensive.
For me, it's just the skincare.
Yeah.
and
true.
and sneakers are like
A guy's thing,
Yes.
Yeah. Jordan, my brother, he loves these sneakers.
it's appropriate. His name's Jordan.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very true.
This is a prophecy, really.
Okay, that's quite interesting. And also, I think this doesn't apply to just guys. For both sides, it's also style and clothing and fashion and making yourself look very nice in that
Yes.
way.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay, next.
I'm,
if you can't
I'm
afford
very
fancy
attracted
shoes,
to
work on
men
your clothes that
who
you
I
have.
can wear their clothes. Thank you. So I have more clothes.
We've really stolen one hoodie, so
Almost two.
That's funny.
Too
I
soon.
don't know. This one doesn't sound like it's been sent in by a guy, but I'll ask it
Okay.
anyways.
Yes, because of the as well.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
just,
Which
one you
just
gonna
ask the
ask?
question and then we can
Wait,
discuss.
no, I don't think this is as well. Do y'all have to wear a Pantyliner majority of the time?
Okay.
And as a male,
So-
I didn't
the word-
know what a
yes.
Pantyliner was.
Please tell the people what you thought of Pantyliner was.
Please,
'cause
please,
this was
please,
so
please,
funny.
please.
I honestly, I have a very dumb brain. I thought for some reason a Pantyliner was like wearing, I don't know, something over your panties to make sure that you don't get seams or something like that.
So that you don't see your panty lines. And you're
So,
just like, why don't they just wear a G-string? I don't wear a panty liner every day. If you don't know what a panty liner is, it's kind of like a very thin pad.
Yes, it's a very, very thin pad.
It doesn't have wings oftentimes.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah.
It just sticks. So I think most women, I mean, this is not something people think we just sit around and talk about like our periods all the time. We actually don't.
Only sometimes.
But I think most women I don't think wear panty liners every day. And if they do, it's just because of like discharge. Like some people for medical reasons or just like whatever the case may be, there's discharge. So
if you're getting a hexic amount though, like you should probably see a gynecologist about that.
Yeah. But I think I mean, I will, again, TMI, I literally just don't even care anymore. I will wear a panty liner like on the first day of my period because it's still light.
It's a very light flow.
It's light, and then the blood comes. It's
sorry, I was looking at the next question.
Cool.
Yes.
All sorted.
Oh, is this the one where you're talking about? I'm looking at the one that you sent me.
Yes,
okay.
Yes. You can read it. This came from a friend.
Read the whole thing?
Yes, because I thought it was quite a good question.
I can't actually remember what it was.
So, what is the best way to refer to girls who are my peers? Saying woman just makes it feel like I'm getting really cold, or getting really old, sorry.
Woman. Hello, woman.
Well, if they're a strong, independent woman, you call them woman. Anyways, since I am referring to my peers, saying ladies also sounds super pretentious. Big words. Saying females probably has the fewest connotations associated with it, but it makes it sound like you're referring to a different species.
Yeah, it's like females.
I prefer saying girls, but I think some people find it a bit derogatory.
Okay.
So, yeah, go.
Okay.
I'll tell you what I think.
Don't say females. I don't know. It's like one of my pet peeves. I hate it when guys call women females in like an unironic way. If you're doing it ironically, it's a bit different. And I think, and with each of those things, it all depends on how you say it. Like if you're saying, hey ladies, like in a funny way.
Reliable with the ladies.
Exactly. Then it's fine. If you're saying like girls in like literally a friendly way, then whatever, it's fine. I think if you're saying it in a weird way, like, your girls kind of thing, I don't know how else you would say this, but then maybe find something else. But I refer to all of my friends as guys.
Just
whether they
group them all
women
together.
I
or
literally
men.
messaged Danielle. I'm like, oh my word, dude.
Yeah. What's up,
Jordan.
guys? I'm like, ladies.
And I call like the teenage girls like my girl, but I understand why it would be problematic for a male to refer
referring to a girl is
Yeah.
very different.
Yeah. So I think I'm just trying to think in what
I'll just go with girlfriends.
context.
girlfriends.
Hey, girlfriend.
Yes. So it's funny that this question came up because even when I was posing the question on my story, I was like, guys asking questions, girls. What is this episode
guys
even
ask
called?
girls questions
That they're
The
too
guys
afraid
want
to
to-
ask.
Yeah.
But I was like thinking, girls makes it sounds like so like teenager.
No, I know.
So I was like, girls ask ladies questions. I'm like, I
whole
understand why
same
that
thing.
sounds
Yeah.
formal.
Yes.
So I actually do understand the struggle.
No, it is.
I just think that we have names for a reason.
Yeah. But I
Call me
feel
Zara.
like maybe, I don't know, if he's going up to like a group of his girlfriends,
Yeah, girlfriends.
then maybe he'd want to
Easiest.
say like, hey ladies, hey girls. But you can also just say hey guys. No one will be
Yeah.
offended by that.
You can, I'm pretty sure you can hit them with oaks and they'll be fine. You know?
No, don't call me an oak.
No.
Do I look like a
Pine.
tree?
No, but I mean that like casual sort of.
Yeah.
Don't think about it too much because I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure they
don't
won't
overthink
be fine.
it.
And like if you want to, like if someone asked me what I want to be called, like, you know,
Zara.
and I think I understand why he's saying it would appear derogatory. Like when I worked in a bookstore, I would never like refer to a customer as like,
That woman.
yeah, or like, you're welcome, milady.
Milady.
Or like,
That's very like Andy from The Office vibe. Milady.
there's just like, I think it depends on how you say it and the
Yes.
situation you're in.
Call them tunnies. How about that?
I used to be
Oh, yes.
called Tunny by little Afrikaans boys when I worked in a bookstore.
Oh,
I am not an auntie.
no.
My brother is 6 and has no children.
Exactly. Okay. Next question.
Yes, so the answer to your question is just call them by their name, not the book.
Call me
the
by
actual-
your name.
I don't know if I have any more questions. I'm
Don't
just
sing
looking
too
for-
much because otherwise we'll have to pay for it.
Oh.
Woman!
That's what I was thinking of the whole time.
I know.
Here you
There's
go,
a
Devan.
Mumford & Sons song.
Devon takes a long time to
Woman
I'm
read.
trying to
as
find a
well.
question we haven't asked yet. DVP.
He is clearly not the professional podcaster
No,
around here.
we are the most professional.
I think we're out of questions.
Cool. Well, I think those are all the questions that we had.
Yes.
It was lots of fun.
Do you have a message for men at all, Danielle?
Just be the best you can be, and don't just try to be nice to sleep with women or to kiss women or whatever. Please,
No,
just
no,
be nice
no.
to be nice.
My message is also be nice.
Yes.
And
So it's
remember that we can be emotional without being
Irrational.
irrational.
Exactly. And we're not a different species.
No.
You are,
Sometimes
but
I
we're
question. but-
Exactly.
Cool. Well, I think that's all.
Yes, I'd
Was
like
a
to
good
thank our
Producer / editor / everything except for talking guy.
Yes.
Well, I'm doing that now today apparently as well.
Wow. Look at you, overachiever.
For real.
Okay, Devan has to get back to his accounting books now, honestly.
Indeed.
That's my day off today for study.
Lucky you.
Well, I
know.
think you should still study anyway.
Yes.
Anyway.
Because you need to be the provider, because Danielle wants to just study for
Yes,
all her
please.
life.
No,
So
I
we could travel the
don't.
world and
I
I'm
just
paid
want to
for it,
lie in my
apparently.
bed.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Well, follow us on Instagram at _.
I hope you all
podcast.
voted.
Yes,
Bye. If you didn't,
So
it's
it's
too
a
late
week late.
now. It's a big late.
Bye.
Bye, guys. And girls. And ladies. And a woman.